Hello there, welcome back to The Witness. So today we're going to do a couple things. We're going to try to unlock the second half of this panel to give us access to this laser. And we're going to do that by, I believe, if we follow this wire line, it goes across the way there and it goes into that building. So we're going to attempt to activate that. And we're also going to take a boat trip, because we didn't do it at the end of last episode. But today, I think we're going to go ahead and give it a try. We're going to go around the island, and we're going to, for the first time, really get an idea of the scope of the island we're dealing with. I mean, we kind of have an idea. I believe that that's probably the furthest point of that side of the island, and that's quite a ways off, so we knew this island was big, but we weren't 100% sure exactly how big. Now, we haven't gotten the knowledge set to figure out these set of puzzles yet, so we haven't unlocked our shortcut yet, but that's fine, because we kind of wanted to go through this area anyway, because there was a series of puzzles over here that we had started, but we hadn't finished. So we're going to make an attempt to finish these set of puzzles. And these seem to involve reflections, using the light to determine the boundaries that you can move around in the screen. So let's go to the last place that we had... That's weird. You know, it's almost as if this thing was like a flood channel, or... This whole area here is very peculiar. So we left off with, I believe, this puzzle. Okay, this is where we started, so we left off here. Yeah. Alright, so how this has been working so far is the shadows of the branches kind of act as the guidelines of where you can move your cursor around the maze. But it hasn't always been 100% reliable. See, like right here, we've got to both negotiate. Where's the end point? There it is. We've got to take into account the tree line as well as the artificial shadows. Again, an interesting concept, very interesting concept, because it's playing on the fact that the natural setting is one set of guidelines, and the man-made structure is getting in the way of that. Again, probably a meditation on game design in general. Alright, so we've got more man-made bars in the way of our guidelines. Let's see if we can find a way to negotiate this. There we go. Alright, we're moving our way up the hill here. This one looks pretty straightforward. You've almost got to try to block out... Ooh, no, this one might be a little trickier. This is my initial guess, but no, not quite. So we've got to try to make our way around. Oh no, wait a second. Maybe I'm overthinking this, because the structure just covers up this, but the tree branches don't. Tricky. Very tricky. Again, the idea that the man-made structure is getting in the way of the natural structure. Ironically, it's all man-made, because this was designed by an artist. Okay. Let's continue with this. This is interesting. Little breaks in the paneling here. Does that tree branch come this way? My exit is right there, but it looks like maybe this... Oh no, is that a tree branch? Oh no, I think that's just a wood paneling. Yeah, you gotta try to separate that. Now, where do we go now? Oh, Whoa. Okay, so we haven't been this way yet. This is going deep in the woods. Again, kind of that ominous... this line going... Oh, it splits. It goes that way as well. Well, we're going to save this. This path into this dark forest area is very cool. The line going that way. But we'll come back to that. First of all, we're going to finish this series over here. Oh. That's creepy looking. Now the odd thing here is that... Did they change the colors? I'm just gonna quickly... Yeah, these were pink. These are blue up here. Wondering if the rule sets are changing now. Does it maybe want me to follow the vines? Because I don't think going the opposite way would work. So perhaps this one, yeah, wants me to outline the shadow. The rules have changed lately. Okay, where's my next one? Oh, it's up in here. God, I really... I mean, I love exploration in open world games. I really just want to, like, go walk over there just to see what's over there. We will in a second. Okay, this one appears pretty straightforward. Follow these lines around. Right there, cool. Ah. Man, the detail, I mean, this game took, I believe it was 6 years to make, 5 or 6 years, and you can tell. I mean, you can really tell that I've always been of the opinion, going way, way back to old console games, that it usually takes, at least in my opinion, it takes a good 4 years at least to get, like, a legendary game. And, you know, that seems like it's a pretty far step from most game development these days, that companies are spitting out games like every year. Sequels and reboots and DLC and weird expansion packs, but I think 4 years is really a good kind of maturation length for a game that's going to go down as like a legendary game. And I really hope this game does, because in my opinion it's pretty damn legendary. Oh, now here's something interesting. There's that little break in the branch. I'm wondering if this is going to affect... Yeah, look at that. So is it as straightforward as this? Again, tricky. That little break in the branch there was the hint that the shadows could be shared. Now I heard... Okay, so our wire went over here. I'm wondering what this opened, because I definitely heard something open up. I'm going to assume it was the gate leading into that little... is this activated now? Yeah, this little sneaky... Spotted this when I was rewatching the last video. There's this sneaky little wire that's snaking around here. And I believe it goes to the gate that opens this. Or at least one half of this. Can I get in? I can. Oh, alright. Interesting. Okay, so this puzzle was not... Well, it was solvable, but it wasn't... you couldn't see the solution until you opened both halves of this gate. Now, is the second half of this puzzle back in that little trail that I saw, or is it possible that you can, well, obviously you can guess at the solution, but can you determine the path that you need to take just by looking at the branches over here? There's something else strange. There's like it's like a cloth hanging in that tree there. There's a weird break in that wall as well. That's strange. Could foreshadow something later, whatever's in this building. This complex seems to be huge. It's almost like a second fort, similar to the one we saw way back in the beginning of the game. Alright, well, let's not try to get too distracted. Let's first of all see if we can determine the path we need to take. So there's our exit. Don't want to get our own shadow in the way. It's pretty hard to see. I think we're going to have to solve that solution because, yeah, there's no way I'd be able to guess at it. I'm not 100% sure where the shadow's being cast either. It looks like it's through that tree, but I can't see any branches that would give me the solution. So let's go ahead and backtrack a bit, and we're going to head to that side trail, and we're going to go explore it. Alright. This really does feel like kind of a little mini adventure we're going on down this side area here. Very cool. Okay. Oh, alright. So it's getting a little bit more complicated. Okay. So it's trying to show us the path has to do with, like, there's our path we need to take. There's where the shadows are cast. So it's going to be up and then all the way down. Okay. Do this, then we'll go up and all the way down. There we go. Again, the idea that these panels are obstructing your view of the solution. Okay, and this one, we're going to go over one and down all the way across and back up. Okay, over one, down, all the way across and back up. There we go. Alright, we're making progress. Whoa. Look at this. Ah, so this actually might tie into the area that to the quarry solution. We may actually get 2 lasers today. That'd be crazy. Okay. Oh, and a little door right there. Again, that was that. I was wondering what was along the wall there. Sure enough, there's some kind of little secret door. Alright, so this one zigzagged? Oh no, it's distorted because of the angle of the light. Alright, so we're going to start here. Can I get both of these in view? Yeah, I can. Alright, so we're going over. Now, I've got to get my head wrapped around. Is it like this? Oh, there's 2. Oh no, wait a second. Wait a second. There's actually 2 entrances here. Or 2 starting points. There's one here and one here. Now it's getting tricky. Okay, so let's assume that... Let's see. That can't be right. So I need to figure out where exactly the distortion is happening. It looks like it's at an angle. Alright, let's see. So it's covering... Let's try to go backwards. Let's say that it's covering this portion, which means that it would go over 2, down 1, in 1, over 1. So like this. That doesn't look right. Over 2, down 1, in 1. Maybe like this. Ah, yeah. That was tricky. Had to get your head wrapped around that distortion. Alright, before we go to the next area, I have to take a look at this. Alright, I'm assuming this is a one-way door. This is going to be a shortcut. Yep. That leads up into this complex. Can't activate it from here. Gonna have to find the long way around. Although, I'm gonna quickly do a side thing here, just because I really am curious about. Is there anything hidden up here? Maybe a key card hidden up top here. There's a strange gathering of rubble there, but no, doesn't appear so. Okay, just thought I would check. So used to playing like Fallout and Skyrim in those games where usually if you go in a weird area you're gonna find some kind of... Oh, okay, so this is really weird. So the time of day has ended up changing this. Okay. Alright, I gotta get my head wrapped around this. So the time of day has moved the shadow over. And because of that, we have a distorted view here. So it looks like it might go over 2, up 1, and then over 1, then over 2. And this is where I'm kind of lost because I'm not sure. Let's see if it goes over 2 and then up 1. Where's our exit? Oh, there it is. Oh no, wait a second. Okay, so it's moved over. Up and over and there? No? Okay. Down. Over... Boy, that looks like over 2. Then up 1. Over here. Up 1. Over 2. I think this is what I did before, yeah. Okay. So everything is shifted over 2. So I have to think that way. Let's say that that was a 1 shift. It sure looks like 2, but let's say that it's a 1 shift. And that would indicate that I go 1 and then over. No, this can't be right, can it? Because once it gets up here, then it goes all the way across? Oh. Right, I need to wrap my head around this. So just here's what I'm looking at. I think this right here is actually this starting point. Which means that it has to... This has to be the start. Because that matches what I'm looking at. But after that, see, it keeps going. It doesn't go up, so that's got to be 2 over. Then it goes up 1, over 1, up 1, then right 1. Again, looks like 2, up 1, over 1, up 1. Man, that looks like it's straight to the exit, but again, this is one that oh, no, that was it. Okay. I think I messed up the sequencing of over 2s. Alright. So, oh. Right away I saw it dark down there and I'm looking up to find the solution in like that panel and it's way up here. Crazy. Okay. So can we get... Yeah, we can. Just barely we can get both things. It's kind of difficult to control from way over here, but... Okay, so the shadow ends and it's recast here. So let's say it goes over 1 more, and it goes down 2, and it goes over 1, down 2, over 1, up 1, over 1, and then out. Cool. The shadow was blocked way up here. Very, very cool. Again, this game just so satisfying to solve puzzles. Alright. Now we're getting to the tough stuff. So this one looks like it might be distorted and covered way up here. How far do I gotta go to solve this one? Jeez. Alright, oh. Is this the solution to this one? I think it might be. And God only knows where this solution is. Alright. Let's start by... oh. Okay. Yeah, so this one right here may actually be the solution for the one way down there. That's a hell of a long way. Let's see if... does it match up? Oh, no. This... okay. Alright, so this one is just on this rock right here. But we're not going to be able to click. Alright, let's get the first part up. So this one goes up, over, down, and then up. So this is the first part of the solution. Let's take a look at the second. It's way distorted. So it goes over one, then up, and then back over, and then up, and then out. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can get this done on the first try here. Goes back, and then out. What? Okay, it goes over, up, down, over two, up one, and then up, then over. Oh, I think it goes up like that. Yeah. Okay. Again, gonna take a quick peek in here just to see. So this must be where they load the lumber from the forest here into the machine. Can I actually get in from this side? Oh, what's this? Uh-oh. We found something here. Can I get in from this side? I don't think so, no. It's not gonna let me. But what is this? This looks like a hidden area. There's gonna be a key card up here, or a yeah, key card. Alright. Cool. Is there a hidden puzzle somewhere? Looking for a one of those like long forgotten panels. Don't see one of those. Alright, let's keycard it up. Here we go.
In a sense, what modern physics is to the history of Western thought, Zen is to the development of the Eastern worldview, the ultimate refinement of more than 2,000 years of incisive debate, discussion, and critical development. Yet the difference between the two could hardly be more marked. Whereas physics is interested above all in theories, concepts, and formulas, Zen values only the concrete and the simple. Zen wants facts, not in the Western sense of things that are measurable and numerical, which are in fact abstractions, but as living, immediate, and tangible. Its approach to understanding is not to theorize, because it recognizes that previously accumulated ideas and knowledge, in other words, memories of all kinds, block the direct perception of reality. Therefore, Zen adopts an unusual approach. Its buildup involves language, which is unavoidable. Any method, even if it turns out to be an anti-method, has first to convey some background in order to be effective. But the way Zen uses language is always to point beyond language, beyond concepts to the concrete. David Darling, 1996.
Very interesting ideas and concepts, and finding those little hidden recorders is a very cool has a very cool I'm trying to think of the right word. It's like a juxtaposition between the idea that this game is just like the puzzles. The puzzles are really, really concrete, and they're you know, there's a flow to them, but the flow has a certain degree of logic, right? It's very logic based, and that, you know, you can logically figure out that there's a set of rules, and those rules need to be followed or broken in a particular way in each puzzle in order to solve them. But there's also like other ways of looking at the puzzles, and sometimes like it's hard to describe unless you actually play the game. Sometimes you solve the puzzles in ways that are like, just a quick example is some of those puzzles earlier that instead of following the shadow, you were not following the shadow, that you were, or the other way around, instead of not following the shadow, you were actually following the shadow. Just that jump, that's not a logical jump. I mean, that breaks logic. You're doing the opposite rule, but our brains are capable of being able to see that and be like, okay, we're going to do it differently. We're going to see it differently. And I think that a lot of these quotes that we've been hearing kind of harken to that, that there's just like this hard logic way of looking at the world, and then there's this Zen-like way of looking at the world, and that there's kind of this weird balance between the two that I think this game is kind of trying to get at. And I don't know, I find that kind of stuff fascinating. But alright, so this one is interesting because there is a distortion. There's a missing panel here. Now I'm guessing that this missing panel is saying to go this way. But once we get here, this is where it starts to fall apart. It looks like it's... is it down 2 and over 1? No, that can't be right. So let's say over 1, and then back this way. And I can't tell if it wants me to go down here. Yeah, it looks like it wants me to go down and then in. Yeah, there we go. That was a tricky one. Alright, I think we're getting to our conclusion here, and I believe this wire is probably going to go back and open up the second half of the box for this area. Alright, so again we have the distortion. Looks like we're going to have to guess at a few parts as well. So up, and then I think it goes back up. Oh no, wait a second. Hold on, this is tricky. Okay, so we've got a... we're gonna have to not get fooled by this distortion, because it looks like it might be pretty easy to get fooled here. We're not exactly lining this stuff up. I think... this is any indication that we're gonna... oh no. I'm trying not to let the distortion mess me up too much, but I think that I've kind of lost my way there. Alright, so obviously we begin with up 1. Now are these repeats of each other? Yeah, it's hard to tell because this one doesn't go up and around. Unless I'm just looking at that wrong, and I might be. Let's try to go the other way. So let's say that our end point here is... the thing that's throwing me for a loop is that this is starting by going straight up. Assuming that this is our starting point, it goes straight up, and then it... at least on from this perspective, it goes down, but then it's supposed to go down again, but it can't. So if that's... that can't be a repeat, can it? No, it's a different outline. I know this isn't right, but I'm just testing all my options here. No. Go down and let's say over 2. Let's say it goes all the way over. This can't be right, but then it goes up and then down. Now I don't know why this would be right. Oh, I don't know why that was right. Okay, I think I hear the second half of that gate opening. I think, you know, how did I solve that? I just went with the general outline and then filled in the rest with my brain. Again, very zen. Very meditative. Kind of a merging of intuitiveness and logic. That seems to be what this game has been about so far. Among other things. Kind of a, there's definitely been some ideas about creationism versus, like, inspiration. Overall, a very relaxing experience. Alright, so, now, we should have our solution here. This looks like it's following the rule of avoiding the shadows, and it looks like it was complicated enough that it was going to be pretty damn hard to guess at. Oh no, wait a second. Okay, no, it is trickier than I thought. Okay, so maybe the first half is about avoiding shadows, and then the second half is about following the shadow? That's weird, and I don't know if that's right, but okay, so our start point's here. There's only one start point. It appears that the first half is definitely about avoiding shadows, which would seem to indicate that this is the right path. But once you get here, does it want you to follow the shadow at this point? No. Okay. What are you trying to tell me, game? There's only one exit. Now the exit is definitely in shadow. So, you know, one half of those puzzles were about avoiding shadow, one half were about following shadow. The middle point is here. Those shadows don't connect. So, logically, what is this trying to tell me? Maybe illogically, what is it trying to tell me? Now, there are the leaves. The leaves are kind of, you know, it's one half is different than the other, clearly, but one half is the branches themselves are covered in shadows. Okay, just from an intuitive standpoint, the starting point starts not in shadow, which makes me think that you're supposed to start not being in shadow. Or, yeah, not being in shadow. Okay. Let's take that for granted. This is the obvious path, following that rule. At this point, that rule breaks down, at least until you get here, because if you follow this path, it's possible. Okay, so once you get here, assuming that this isn't counting as a break, because it's pretty close, but the general outline says that once you get here, then you're going to have to break the rule. You don't have a choice. But what way can you break the rule? I'm just gonna do something weird here just because I'm not seeing the obvious solution. No. Because I'm wondering if maybe because this is the halfway point, at this point you can break the rule. But, you know, you can't get down to here without... Alright, so this looks like the obvious path to start. And then maybe you enter from here and go around? No? These 3 points each look like they could be entrances. Potential entrances. So maybe you have to half break the rule and half not. Oh, this might be right. Yeah. Because you're entering and exiting all 3 of those entrant, like... Yeah, this looks like it's right. Yeah. So I was just trying to indicate you had to follow the rule halfway in one area and halfway in another. And I think, believe it or not, we're getting ourselves another laser. That's what it looks like. It's warming up. Show me the light. This thing's gonna have to raise pretty high to get out above the tree line, I would imagine. Unless there's a break in the tree line, which there might be. Oh no, wait a second. Oh, okay, it's just flipping around. Oh, it might be high enough, actually. Oh, you know what? It shoots right through the tree. Jeez. But, oh god, here we go, Dogmeat. Sure enough, Feral Ghoul. First customer. Oh god, Dogmeat, they're all waking up.